Edgar Berlanga versus Steve Rolls coming up soon. I wasn't aware of this fight, and I'm gonna give my prediction and what I think this is. The people that's handling Edgar Berlanga, I believe they're going backwards, man. I mean, they're picking backwards competition. I give my props to Steve Rolls, but I mean, let's be honest, man. I mean, this is the same guy with Triple G broke him up. Um, what is what is the guy gonna really do against Edgar Berlanga? Well, I'm not gonna totally shut out Steve Rolls, and I'll get to that in a minute. But the people that's in control of Edgar Berlanga's career, they saw what happened in that Caceres fight. Um, and even in the Nicholson fight, that was where the streak ended for Edgar Berlanga. The 15 straight KOs in one round stuff that really ended, and I saw some holes in his game even in that fight. I think that's where it all began for me. But he still got him out of there. I think round 4, I believe it was round 4. He got him out of there, but that's good. He needed that work. He didn't need to go fucking one round anymore. That was good that Edgar Berlanga actually went more than one round, because even himself admitted he needed the extra rounds in. So that was good. That helped him. But even I say this. People saying he's been exposed. I don't think he's been exposed yet. I think this hype job. He was a hype job, and that hype has ended. It's done. That's not coming back. See, when they attach certain things to these fighters, like when they get them these fights where they know they're gonna steamroll over people, they start to build them off of that. And then when they keep stepping up and something bad happens or they end up not looking so good, then the hype dies. And I understand. I guess sometimes they need to try to stick to something to make a fighter marketable. Maybe that's what it was. I get it. But how long were they gonna keep running with that? You know damn well eventually he wasn't gonna keep getting fucking one round knockouts and ending his fights. That was not gonna keep being the case. It was eventually at some point that was gonna stop. And that's exactly what happened. So this fight with Steve Rolls, to me, is just a fight for them to try to get back on that knockout streak shit. Like, they're gonna try to either knock him out in the first round, or they're gonna go in there and just try to make Edgar Berlanga redeem himself. And that's what this is. This is a redeemer fight. He's redeeming himself from looking bad against Caceres. We saw a lot of holes in his game, but you also saw Caceres' face at the end of that fight. So you got to give Edgar Berlanga some kind of respect, because he still pulled off the win. And he did demolish the dude's face almost. His face was almost like hamburger. But he needed that fight, though. As much as the hype ended, he definitely needed that fight to show where his holes, show everybody where his holes was, to show himself where he needed to fix things. So he needed that. You remember early on, he was saying he needed the rounds. He got them shits with the Caceres fight. And he damn near lost. He almost lost that fight. Sometimes a loss makes a fighter. Sometimes it breaks him. So even though I wasn't really, I was disappointed in his performance. At the same time, I'm glad he got the rounds. I'm glad he faced adversity, and he still overcame that. He was supposed to. That's what they put him in there. He's like, this guy's supposed to beat Caceres. And I told you, if you guys go back to my prediction, I said something, I had Edgar winning, but I said something ain't right with this Caceres dude. That's what I said. Go back and look at my prediction for that fight. But nonetheless, that's what this fight is. The likely outcome in this fight should be a knockout. It should be a stoppage. It ain't with Steve Rolls. He has no real punching power, but he moves. He's a mover. And we're going to see how Edgar Berlanga can handle somebody that moves like Steve Rolls, man. That might pose a problem for Edgar Berlanga in this fight. So This fight is definitely not going 1 round unless Edgar clips him with something crazy that Steve Rose don't see coming. But like I said, Steve Rose moves around pretty well. Can he evade those punches? It remains to be seen. Uh, shit, Triple G got him out of there in 4. Kind of, I was interested to watch that fight because Steve Rose was still trying his best. He gave it his all, and he's an older dude. So this is why I said, you know, he still is a mover. He still is a veteran compared to Edgar Berlanga. Triple G is an old head, and so is Rose. So when you compare him, he's one of them dudes that could possibly pose problems for Edgar as far as stylistically moving, and it's possible, but I don't see him really lasting that long with Edgar Berlanga, man. But I do see him moving around the ring a lot, trying to evade a lot of his punches. He might catch Edgar with some slick shit every now and then. I don't think he definitely doesn't pose a real threat to him to knock him out. But who knows, man? He might fuck around and outbox Edgar. We've seen stranger things happen in boxing, but the likelihood, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Edgar gets him out. Probably round. I'm gonna give Steve Rose to round 7. I'll say Edgar KOs him round 7. So my prediction is a round 7 KO for Edgar Berlanga, and it still is not going to do much for Edgar at all. This fight, it's not going to do much. Who is Steve Rose? He's no threat to anybody. He hasn't really beaten anybody significant lately. He hasn't done anything significant. This does absolutely nothing for Edgar Berlanga's advancement, man. So I don't know what they're trying to do. This is just like another showcase fight, pretty much. So to them, they think this is a redeemer fight. He's going to go in there and knock him out. Oh, look, we got Edgar. He's a knockout king. All right, well, he's the knockout king against somebody like Steve Rose. Edgar Berlanga should be on his way to fighting people like David Lemieux. He should be fighting these kind of guys by now, and he's going to have to if he's going to get any more respect from people after seeing what happened with Caceres. If Edgar Berlanga got beat by Caceres, man, that would have been really bad for him as far as the reputation-wise goes. But he won. So that kind of spared him from the exposed shit. If Edgar goes in there and gets styled on by Rolls, that's it for Edgar. He's officially been exposed. If Edgar goes in there and steamrolls Rolls, like I believe he will, probably late rounds, because he's probably going to try to get round. I think Edgar probably can get him out sooner. Probably going to try to stretch it and get some rounds in and work on some stuff with him and his team and working on things. And knock him out in the 7th round. Get him out in 7. And then the next fight, he better fight somebody that's definitely leagues up from Steve Rose. For him to get any respect from the boxing fans, he's going to have a step-up fight. Just going to have one, man. I mean, that's where he is right now. It is what it is. So that's my take on it. Edgar's just too strong. I think he's too strong for Steve Rose. Too young. And he's going to probably, like I said, he's going to pose. There's a small chance that Steve Rose can pose some technical problems for Edgar Berlanga. So if that happens, don't be really surprised, because a lot of these older dudes, they be styling on these younger hats, man. It been happening a lot lately, so that could happen here, man. But I don't think he's going to beat him. He's going to get stopped 7th round. That's my prediction. Let me know what y'all think about this. Like, subscribe, drop a comment, support the channel. Catch y'all later, and I'm out.